Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Jahnavi.
It's nice to meet you. My name
Nice
is
to meet you as
Melinda.
well. Sorry. Can you please repeat that?
Yes, my name is Melinda.
Mol
Melinda, yes.
Molinda. Oh, okay. Nice. Nice to meet you.
Yes, where are you from?
I'm from India.
Oh, very nice. I've spoken to other students from India as well.
Oh, okay. That's great. And where are you from?
I live here in the United States in North Carolina.
In North Carolina. Okay, I know
Mhm.
that. Yeah. That's good. Okay. So, and with your consent, I would like to put this video on my YouTube channel, if you don't mind.
Sure, that's fine.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
so, Malinder, I want to ask you something. So, is it very important for non-native speakers to pick up accent very quickly, or do you think that it's not really possible for non-native native speakers?
I think it depends on the speaker because everyone
Okay.
speaks differently. So, for some
Yeah.
people, their accent might make it harder to understand them. For other people, it may not matter as much. And I think it
Okay.
also depends on the person's English speaking ability. If they
Mm-hmm.
speak English very well, even if they have an accent, you can probably still understand them. But if they don't speak as well and they have a strong accent, it's more likely that they will be harder to understand. So I think it really depends on the person and the situation, but that's been my experience and that's my
Okay.
opinion.
And I think from during the initial conversation that we had, I think I remember probably you could have spoken to few Indian speakers, right? So, do you find any difficulty in trying to understand their language or our English? Do you find any difficulty of that sort? Because American accent is different, right? So, do
Yes,
you
it is.
find any difficulty in trying to understand what we speak?
I think for the most part, most Indian speakers I can understand as long as their English is pretty good. And
Okay.
also, I think I've watched some Indian movies and things, so I think I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
used to the way they speak. And I used to have
Okay.
Indian friends when I was in high school, and
Oh, that's good.
I like to watch some of the Bollywood movies, and so I think for me it's and I like Indian food, so I'll go to Indian restaurants, and usually the people
Okay.
that work there are Indian. So I think I've had enough personal exposure to Indian people that their English is familiar to me. For someone else, it may be different, but I
Mm-hmm.
like I like people from different cultures, which is why I like teaching on Cambly. I enjoy
Okay.
listening to different accents, so I'm willing to try my best to understand, and for
Okay.
other people, it might be different.
Okay, that's good. And thank you that you said that you love our food, our
I
Indian
do.
cuisine.
Indian food is so good. It's
I
so full of
know.
flavor and rich, and oh, it's delicious. I've
True.
introduced other people to it. Like, you've got to try this.
That's true. Okay. So I wanted to add on one thing. I think probably when you said that you have spoken to many of the Indian speakers, right? So if it's not you and if it's somebody else, do
Mhm.
you think would they find it hard in trying to understand our language? Do you think accent is very important, especially the American accent, because it differs? I think for most of the time we try to speak English and mostly in British accent because I think Britishers ruled us, so probably we have their accent or
Well,
some of the words that are being pronounced. Sorry, some of the words that are pronounced in the way the Britishers do,
mhm,
not in the way like the Americans do.
mhm.
So do you find any difference or are you still okay in trying to understand them?
I mean, I can still understand. I'm used to listening to people speak with an English
Okay.
accent too, and I love the
Okay.
English accent. I wish I could imitate it, but I cannot. But
Mm.
um, but yeah, it's pretty familiar, and I think it's understandable that Indian people would try to imitate the English accent from England because England is kind of like the mother country of English. So American English is probably more secondary to England English. So I mean, you know, the US
Mm-hmm.
is a bigger country, but England has a longer history. So
Yes.
it depends on how you look at it. But English is English, and many different countries have their own accent and their own version of English. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaicans speak English, people in Ireland speak English, people in Australia speak English, people in parts of
Yes.
Africa speak English. It's still English, it's just with certain differences in accents. So
Mm-hmm.
language is very complex. That's one
Yes.
thing I've learned from trying to teach English.
Okay. And what is it that you teach on Cambly?
Well, I basically just use my natural ability to speak English as a native speaker to help students with their English to improve. I'm not a formal English teacher in the sense I didn't go to college and get a degree in
Mm-hmm.
education. I actually
Mm-hmm.
got my
Mm-hmm.
degree in psychology, but
Oh, that's good.
online teaching has been something that I can do and that I enjoy doing while I'm trying to figure out what else I want to do. So
Okay.
um, I never really thought I would be a teacher. I've always respected teachers, but this was the first online job that I found, and I've really enjoyed it.
That's good. That's great of you.
Oh, thanks.
And what is it in psychology? I think that's a very interesting subject as
Oh,
well.
psychology, that's a topic I could probably talk about all day. It's just everything.
Okay.
Um, just everything about it because the way you learn about the brain and trying to understand how
Mm-hmm.
that works and what it looks like when everything is working the way it's supposed to, what it looks like when things are not working the way they're supposed to. So that part of it is interesting. It's very complex, but it's interesting. But also just trying to understand people. Psychology
Okay.
helps you better understand, you know, it's about people's mental health. So it's
Yeah.
different than biology, which is about, the physical qualities of people, which that's interesting too, but I like the mental part more. I like understanding what's going on in here and, what
Okay.
makes people feel, think, behave, say, do, just everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Personality,
That's good.
temperament. It's just also interesting to me. It doesn't mean you're going to understand everybody perfectly. There's probably nothing in the world that can make you do that, but it helps me have a better
Mm-hmm.
understanding, and I think it's very interesting. So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
psychology is
understood.
awesome. And plus, I got A's in psychology, whereas I would get B's and C's in the natural
Uh-huh.
sciences. So,
That's
social
good.
science is just more my strength, and I enjoy it more. So,
Wow. So could you predict anything in the way people speak to you?
I don't know if it's so much about prediction, but I think it's more about being able to understand where people are coming from or being able to sense what they may feel or why they may feel the way they do or why they may do what they do. Making predictions, I
Okay.
think it might help you make predictions, but I don't know if that's exactly what it's meant to do. I think it's more about
Mm-hmm.
understanding people as they are and why they're that way.
Okay.
And it might help you
Okay.
make predictions, but I think before you can make a prediction, you have to understand them in that moment, the way they
Mm-hmm.
are,
Mm-hmm. Understood.
and maybe even
So it takes
their
time.
past. I think it can.
Okay. But not initially.
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never thought of it in that context, so I would have to probably research more or think about it more. Predict because when I
Okay.
think of a prediction, it makes me think of like people who are psychic, but that's something different. So I don't know.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is more of a natural gift. People are just born with the ability to do that. But I don't have any
Correct.
psychic ability. I just try to, like, it's like more like analyzing the information you have, what
Mm-hmm.
you see and hear,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure out what you can
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
understand from it.
Okay. So imagine if I had a problem and then I come up to you and then I speak something about it. So you would help me over that. Is that how it
I
is?
would help you in whatever way I could, yes. And I would try
Okay.
to use
Okay.
my psychological knowledge and just, I guess, any knowledge I have, really, life experience, to try to help, yes.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. And do you have any advice during this coronavirus? Because I think everybody are stuck in their homes, especially in India. Yes, we do are, and we couldn't go outside all the time.
Yeah, well, it has been hard for everybody. I know for me, I'm a Christian, so having my
Mm-hmm.
faith has definitely helped me. So I think, if you have things to focus on that you believe in that are important to you, that's probably one of the best things anybody can do. Maybe if you can volunteer or you can find meaningful work, maybe you can find a work at home job to make some extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to stay busy and trying to be connected in whatever ways you can. Connecting online like we are now, that's one of the ways we can connect with the people we can't see right now. So,
Yeah, that's true.
how severe
That's good.
how severe is the pandemic in India?
It is. I think, especially in my city, I think we've got 800 cases
Oh my
daily,
gosh.
and it's going up day by day. So I, we don't really step out of the house until and unless it is necessary and we had to go out.
Yeah.
So we're just going out only for some hospital appointments, or I have a 7-month-old baby, so I take her out for some vaccinations, and that's it. Or some vegetables. That's it. Or
Go to
for
the
some
store
food.
to buy food or something. I know a lot more people are
Yeah.
doing online shopping and working from home since the virus has happened.
Yes.
Not everybody,
Yes. Yes.
but I know some people, if their jobs allow that, they're doing that, or they
Yes.
online.
Yes. My father is now retired, but previously he used to go to the office, so he couldn't work from home. I think there are some
Yeah,
jobs
you
which
can't work
don't
from home.
allow you to work.
Yeah, not all
Yes.
jobs you can work from
You had
home.
to step
Like the
out.
people that are at the store and at the hospital, they
Yes.
have they have to go
Yeah.
out to work.
They have
So
to. They have to. And there's no other
you can't
choice.
do what you do in the hospital at home, and you can't do what you do at the store at home. So you have to
True,
go to
true.
the store or to the hospital, and they have
Absolutely.
to be there too. So that,
Yeah.
excuse me, that's why they're called essential workers, because what
Yes.
they do is
Yes. They're
so
the frontline
important, and
workers.
they're risking their lives every day, in a sense, being
Mm-hmm.
out there and
Mm-hmm.
being exposed to the public. And you don't know who's sick,
Yes.
who is. Sometimes even people don't know they're sick until later on, because the symptoms don't
Yeah.
show right away. And some
Don't show
people
the asymptomatic.
and
Yeah.
then some people may have symptoms, but they're very mild, and they can just be
Mm.
carrying it and spreading it and not even knowing it. It's
Not even
crazy.
knowing it. Yeah.
um it's bad here too. I mean, some states are worse than others. The more populated states are worse than the less populated states. I think there were actually
Oh,
states that didn't. I don't know if it's still the case now, but at one point I had heard there were certain states that didn't have any cases because they're
really?
not really
Oh.
populated. It's more land,
Oh, okay.
But the places with big cities, yes, definitely got hit hard. And
And how's your state, North
I
Carolina?
think
How is
North
it?
Carolina is kind of in between. There are some big cities here, but a lot of the cities are more like towns, so there's not as many people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were hit kind of hard, but not as hard as some other states with more big cities. But we didn't get out of
Okay.
it either, like some states that don't have.
So you mean New York could have
We
had
were we were yeah, we
more
didn't get
number
as
of
bad as New
cases?
York and California and I think
Okay.
Florida has gotten to be pretty bad, which I have family in Florida. Massachusetts,
Uh,
that's where I was born and raised, and I have family there too. They got to be pretty bad at one
mhm.
point, but I think they've gotten better. So yeah, it's a lot of up and down. Um, I know when we started to open some of the businesses that have been closed, the numbers started to go up again. But I think
Okay.
we've kind of, I think we're in a better place now. They're not going to open any
Okay.
more businesses
Yeah.
for a while, but I think we've kind of stabilized. So we'll see. But yeah, it's an experiment. It's a lot of trial and error,
Yes.
and you just try something and see. And the other problem is not everybody is listening to the advice of medical professionals. You know, there are
Hmm.
people that don't want to wear masks, don't like to wear masks. Now I know some people have health
True.
reasons. A,
But
if you
I,
have a breathing problem, it might be hard to breathe with a mask on. But other than that, people can wear a mask. You may not. I don't like wearing masks. I didn't want to wear a mask. I
true.
dreaded it,
Me
but
too. I didn't want to, but
you have to.
that's necessary. I think that's for you to, that's for us to protect
It's for us
ourselves
to protect
and our
ourselves
family.
and to protect others. Because when
Yeah, and to
you're
others.
keeping your germs to yourself, so you can't give them to somebody
Yes.
else. And then also,
Yes.
you're protecting yourself from other people's germs.
Yourself and our family, and thereby we're protecting others as
Yes.
well.
And that's what
Yes.
people don't realize. And we've had people doing stupid things here. I don't know about in India, but in the US, I've heard
Not in
stories
India.
about
Sorry.
no, that's good. I've heard stories in the US about, especially young people, they always think they're so
I
invincible.
know.
Nothing can happen to me. I mean, hey, I was young. I used to think the same way. But of course, now I'm older. I'm a parent. I can't think that way anymore. But
True,
but I
true.
didn't have to deal with
I
this.
know they stopped wearing masks.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I won't wear a mask if I'm in the car when I go for a walk because you're outside.
But is it not, okay, sorry to interrupt, but is it not made mandatory in your country?
Well, that's the thing. This is a big country, so they have the country, and then they have all the different states, and then they have all the different
Yes,
cities. So you've got the main government controlling the country, but then you have local government controlling the states and the cities. So
yes, every state.
some
Yes.
cities and states are doing different things than others. Some mandate, some don't. They all try to decide based on whatever their numbers are. Um, they talked
Okay.
about making it mandatory in North Carolina, but our governor
Mhm.
decided that he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to make it mandatory. So, um,
Oh.
so different cities, their mayors have been trying to decide what they want to do, and I think they're still trying to decide which one we should listen to. Should we have it be up to the mayor or up to the governor? So, and
Oh.
then you see the president we have, which is a
Mhm.
whole other topic. But Trump did not do a good job of preparing us for this virus.
For
No,
this
he did
virus, I
not. He
know.
didn't.
I,
It's like he didn't take it
I
seriously
think
enough.
for us, I know I had been watching the news. For us, it's nice because I think our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, he did prepare us very well for the
And that's
virus.
good, and you're lucky.
Yeah,
Um,
and so we had all the precautionary measures way before the virus had hit us very badly. Now that we know, now that everyone are aware of, I think it's
well,
good.
yes, I think knowledge is power. It's important to know about things. And
Correct.
that's what is so upsetting because, I mean, for people that like Trump, they probably think he's doing a good job. But for people like me who don't like Trump, we think he did a terrible job of preparing for this virus. I mean, we feel like he does a terrible job with everything, but he definitely did a terrible job preparing for this virus because, because I teach English, I used to teach for Korean students. I did that for 2 years
Hmm.
besides doing Cambly. And so
Oh,
I was talking to my Korean students about the virus when it was happening there before it got here.
hmm,
It was there in
Mm.
February because, they're close to China where it started, so they were hit with it before us. It
Yes.
didn't get to the US until March. So that means we had a whole
Mm.
month to get ready for this.
Mm.
But they didn't do anything until the
Mm.
last minute when it was already here. And I think that's one reason why it got so bad here, and it could have been better. I mean,
Mhm.
no matter what, you're still going to get people that get sick because it's impossible not to with something like that that's
Yes.
so life threatening. But it could have been a
Yeah.
lot less if we were better prepared.
Correct.
So,
At least situations can be made
yeah, I
in
mean,
control. Yeah.
there's supposed to be a
Can be
plan
brought
in
into
place
control.
for the government to follow when things like this happen.
Yes.
And then we have Dr. Fauci, a famous doctor here, that was giving advice and telling
Hmm.
people about the virus. And Trump kept saying, no, he's wrong. And he had his own doctors that were going to, agree with whatever he said and was going to say what he said. And his doctors are full of you know what. And I mean, it's just it's just sad. And then eventually, when Trump realized he was making a mistake and that Dr. Fauci is right, then he was trying to say, oh, now he agrees and everything Dr. Fauci says is right. But it was too late by then. The damage was already
But
done.
it was late. Yeah.
And this year is a big year for us because this is the year we get to elect whether we have President Trump again or we have a different president. And I make sure I'm ready to vote, and I'm voting for Biden because I don't want Trump. I don't know what would happen. I didn't vote for Trump the last time and he won, unfortunately. So I don't know what's going to happen this time. But all I can say is that Trump has to be, in my opinion, one of the worst presidents we've ever had as a country. I think he's an embarrassment. He doesn't respect anybody but himself and people like him. He doesn't care about women or minorities or the poor or people with disabilities or, anybody who's not white and wealthy like him. The way he treated
Hmm.
the
That's
illegal
sad.
immigrants, separating the families with his obsession, building the wall, and uh, putting people in these detention centers where they're all in this room like sardines in a can. You don't treat people like that. So they're illegal.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you treat them like dirt. They're still people. They still deserve to be treated with
Yes.
respect. I mean, this country, this is the United States. We're full of people from all over the world. That's part of what makes us us. And that's a beautiful thing, at least to me. I love diversity. That's one thing I love about this country is how diverse we are. And ugh,
Yeah.
I just, as you can see, I feel very passionate about this. I can go on and on.
That's fine. I can understand. I hope better. Good luck to you,
Thank
and I
you.
hope you have a
I
better
hope so. I
president
mean,
next.
I don't
And
know. I don't know if Hillary Clinton would have been any better. I don't know if Joe Biden is any better, but somebody's got to be better than Trump. And because Biden is having Kamala Harris as his vice president, that's a half black and I don't know, I think black and Indian or Native American. Well, she's not white and she's a woman. So that's awesome.
okay.
We
Hmm.
need more women leading in
Hmm.
the government. So we got to have a black president with Obama. So now we can hopefully have a black female vice president. And
Female.
someday maybe we'll have a female president. That would be amazing.
I hope you, whatever you dreamt of, it would come true very soon.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you very
You're
much for
welcome.
speaking to me. That's very nice.
Yeah.
And thank
You're
you.
welcome.
See
It was
you,
nice to meet
and
you.
good luck with your psychology.
Thanks. And good luck with your YouTube videos. I know that's a big thing
Thank
right
you.
now.
Thank
Well,
you, and bye bye.
bye.
Have a nice
You
day.
too. You're
Thanks.
welcome.